you're just like, you're such a great person. Like, let's be friends.
Let's be friends.
Let's be friends.
We are friends. From this moment forward, we have proclaimed our friendship.
Yes.
Yeah, no
Awesome.
doubt, no doubt. The one thing I forgot to mention is that I'm a walk-in also. So
Oh, yeah.
in my near-death experience, I actually had a transition, and I don't always share it in all of the interviews, but the significance of that is that walk-ins they replace the presence of the spirit that transitioned over, and they're given permission to do that. It's a spiritual transition, and walk-ins have unique missions here. In ancient times, they would have been known as prophets. We just call ourselves emissaries. And so that became very clear to me very early on that I was a walk-in. And later on, it was confirmed in various channeling experiences that I had. And in one hypnosis session that I had with somebody, where when I woke up from the hypnosis session, she was on the floor bawling. And I was like, what's going on here? And I went back and listened to the tape, and it was pretty clear that everything had been confirmed, which I had already known, that I came here as part of a group of walk-ins and spiritual entities, that we were here at the time that this Earth School was planted and seeded. And we've been here in many other schools, and we've watched the progression of humanity over time and have been here physically at various points in time. And we are now here to celebrate the end of this Earth School. And that's the big thing. That's the real big thing. We're this group of walk-ins. I call myself an architect, but there are different aspects of what we did when we came here. I actually had a really big remembrance of one of the first times I was here, some 10,000 years ago, and I was 12 feet tall, and I had 4 fingers, and
No way.
yeah, it was really, really cool. And I came through the rocks, because there are many areas of the world where there are high vortices, rock areas where people can walk in and out of rocks, and they're portal, multi-dimensional portals. And I mean that multi-dimensional, so you really access the higher levels of dimensionality. And I walk through those, and I know where they are. At least I know where some of them are. And
Are some in Peru?
yes. So I came as one of the lead architects now to basically tell people it's done. The celebration can begin. You still have to wake up, but yes,
Yeah.
it's over. It's over. The game's over.
Wow. That's so great. That's such great news. I'm here like waiting for the aliens to like land their ships. Come on, uncloak. I know you're up there. Like,
and that will happen in the next few years. Yes.
All of the disclosure that's going on right now is wild. And I'm like, how is that connected to spiritual? I feel like they're okay.
Yeah, they're part of the transformational party that's here to help humanity awaken to its higher self. They're all playing a role. And in the next 12 to 18 months tops, the most massive disclosure, I don't want to call it disclosure because it has nothing to do with governments. They are planning a big moment of global sightings that humanity has ever seen, and that will leave no trace, no doubt that they exist. There will be experiences the likes of which would be comparable to what you saw like in Close Encounters and stuff like that. I mean, it's not, they're going to not be there just to give you an inkling of this. They're going to actually, there's going to be in Close Encounters. There's going to be now our frequencies are rising fast enough that we're finally catching up to that frequency we need to be in order to receive them. Otherwise, we would implode and do stupid things. because of their appearance.
Right. When is this going to happen? Do you know?
Within the next 12 to 18 months is
Really,
what
that soon?
yeah.
Is that what Caleb's
Yeah.
telling you?
Yeah.
Oh. Then
That's
there would
why
be a whole new world after that. I feel like the world would completely
it will
change.
take a little bit of time. The only thing that could push that timeline back is if for some bizarre reason we're not quite at that frequency to trigger that switch. But once that switch is triggered, you said, I know I see you out there. I can see
Mm-hmm.
you. I know you're
Mm-hmm.
there.
Mm-hmm.
That cloak is that frequency that we can't see it yet because we're not vibrating at that level, but we're rising so fast now, so fast, so fast
Yeah.
that everything seems to be on track that this will happen, but it'll still take time. I mean, look what happened when what happened was 2 years ago when Congress finally said, "Oh yeah, we have all this tape of all these experiences that
Mm-hmm.
we cannot tell you what they are."
Yeah.
And what did the world do? Well, first of all, it didn't even make headline news.
And the whistleblower stuff's not really making headline news
No.
right now.
So this isn't going to be something where people keep thinking that it's going to be the governments that are going to finally disclose this. That trust me when I tell you that the extraterrestrials they're not sitting there going, okay, let us know when you're ready to disclose. They don't care about that stuff. I mean, they're respectful of it, but there's a bigger plan in place that has nothing to do with that, with none of that. And when it becomes fully disclosed, it will change reality. It will take consciousness and raise it just in that moment. It'll raise it because by virtue of what humanity will experiencing, it will raise consciousness faster. Will it get us all the way to the finish line? No. But the finish line is going to be much easier to attain now. And that finish line will be within the next 7 to 10 years. Yeah. There will be no death. There will be no hunger. There will be none of that stuff. There will be no discrimination of any color. There will be no discrimination. None of that. There will be no banking system, no financial systems. There'll be no educational systems the way we have it. There'll be no healthcare systems. There'll be none of that. Those things don't exist in the world that's here waiting to be tapped into. There won't even be a governance there'll be some semblance of a governance type of arrangement for a short period of time, but that will only be transitional because there won't be any. There's nothing like that. Nothing like that exists in the worlds beyond this.
Right. I can't imagine.
So why should it exist here?
Right.
So.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm stoked. Super excited. I'm ready. I'm ready.